Hey guys, in the last video you saw me talk about the connection between your body and potentially old injuries and how they're affecting your brain and your psychology and behavior. And today I'm going to show you 3 exercises that you can do for your eyes, your inner ear, and your body to be able to help eradicate that and improve your brain and your behavior and your psychology and your mindset. So the first exercise we're going to do is called visual convergence. And all it requires is yourself and your finger. So the way to set up for this exercise, you want to stand up really tall, or you can do it seated too. You just want to be sitting up straight or standing up straight. You want to take your arm at arm's length, extended, and you're going to use your index finger or your thumb, doesn't matter, and you're going to pull it towards the bridge of your nose, staring at the tip of the thumb, and then pushing it back out. So you're tracking the tip of the thumb the whole time. And what we're trying to do here is we're bringing the eyes into convergence. We're training the eyes into convergence. So we're bringing it here, and then we're pushing it back out. Bringing it close, pushing it back out. It doesn't really matter if it gets blurry. You just want to pull it until it looks like the finger splits into 2, and then push back out. So pull it towards the bridge of the nose until the finger looks like it splits into 2, and then push it back out. And you only need to do maybe 5 or 10 reps per side. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to overtrain or overstimulate the brain. So again, only 5 or 10 reps, then relax. And the goal with this exercise, as well as the other exercises I'm going to show you, the key is to do them often. Because again, what you'll find is all these exercises are very short. It only takes maybe 10, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, very short. But the goal is, what we're trying to get is something called neuroplasticity. We're trying to get permanent change in the brain so that the results stick. We want the results to stay. That's the first exercise. So the second exercise is something called VOR, which is an acronym for vestibulo ocular reflex. It's a natural reflex that we have hardwired in us, actually, to be able to keep our eyes fixed on an object while our head's in motion. We're going to use this reflex to our advantage to train the brain to, again, get neuroplastic change. So the way you do that, again, your arms extended, you could be seated or standing, you want to be really tall, and you're going to be staring at the tip of your thumb again, but this time you're going to keep the arm extended, and you're going to turn your head left to right. But your eyes are going to be fixed on that tip of your thumb. You're going to go left to right about 10 times, and then you're going to go up and down 10 times. And the goal is, be careful not to go too far. Some people will go too far and then both eyes can't stay fixed, because if you turn your head too far, only one eye can technically see the finger. So you want to make sure you don't go too far so that both eyes can clearly see the finger. And if going slow is too easy, go at different speeds. Everyone has different brains, and different brains require different types of stimulus, require different types of resistance in a sense. So test different speeds and test different directions. So what you'll want to do is, let's say you have pain in the low back. You want to do a movement that maybe puts you in tightness or in pain. And let's say, for example, let's say if you have low back pain, if doing a forward bend causes pain at a certain range, let's say maybe I don't feel any pain until about here, use that as a baseline so that after you do the exercise, you can retest it, right? So we want to use that as a baseline. So after I do my convergence drill, I want to do my reps of that, 5, 10 reps each side, and then retest, and then do my vestibulo-ocular reflex, my VOR, left to right, up and down. Do about 10 reps of each of that, retest. And what you are looking for is, am I getting better? That's the key thing, is if it's not making you better, then that's probably not the best exercise for you right now. So again, we want to establish some type of baseline and then retest. It might be, again, if it's a low back thing, then it might be a forward bend, it might be a rotation, it might be a side bend. Just kind of play with what are the things that is important to your situation, your circumstance right now. So the last thing I'm going to show you is an exercise for mobilizing the lumbar spine. And the lumbar spine, even though it doesn't have as much mobility as some other joints, it still needs to have good mobility. And if it's highly guarded from, let's say, an old injury, then you're going to inherently avoid moving it, because most people have been trained to believe that pain means that you actually have broken something or that there's some type of damage to the body. And that's not always the case. It could be, but that doesn't mean that you want to always avoid movement. You want to avoid the pain range. So let's say, for example, if I tilt here and I feel pain, then I just want to reduce that range of motion and try to work around it in the beginning. And what you'll notice is that when you're doing all these different drills, these exercises for the eyes, the inner ear, and the body, is that range of motion will begin to increase. It'll begin to broaden. So this exercise is really important, again, because it takes up a lot of brain space. This section of the body takes up a lot of space in the brain, which means it's very important, which means that it plays a large role in your cognition, your psychology, your mindset, as well as your movement, your strength, etc. So the way you do this drill is very, very easy. You do it standing very tall. You want to have your hands at your sides. You want to be thinking about your head being pulled towards the ceiling. So you got a really, really tall, lengthened spine, and you're going to tilt and then relax the head, neck, and shoulders. Make sure it's completely relaxed. As you roll your head, neck, and shoulders forward, imagine that there's a bar over your belly button and you're rolling the lumbar, the low back, over that bar. So we're not going from the hips. A lot of people have the tendency to bend from here. You're not bending from the hips, you're bending from the lumbar spine. So we're going here, and then we're rolling up through the opposite side. So we're coming up through here, and then we're coming straight up. So again, it's tilt, relax, roll, and then come back up to the other side. Do about 3 to 5 reps on that side and then do the same thing going the other direction. And again, the key here is to make sure your shoulders are very relaxed. So I see a lot of people do this where they're really rigid. You're not going to get the same result as if you relax the head, neck, and shoulders and you actually take the lumbar spine through a good mobility exercise, so a good mobility movement. So those are 3 exercises you can do. Again, you want to be doing these exercises often. It only takes 30 seconds or so, as you could see, but you want to be doing them maybe 5-6 times a day in order to get that permanent change in the brain so that it stays permanent in the body.